brought to you by Extreme Tees. Click on the link below. Make sure you put Kevin in the promo code and you'll get a 20% discount.
And together, we're just getting started. This moment reminds us that the presidency is about true leadership, having the forethought to prepare for the worst, the backbone to lead through chaos, the character to move beyond politics and serve every American, no matter where they live or what they believe.
Have you called Governor DeSantis? The 4th of July celebration? Have you called Governor DeSantis?
It's awful hard as well to get Latinx vaccinated as well. Why? They're worried that they'll be vaccinated and deported. Trace illegal gun sales back to a shady gun dealer and hold them accountable. Police Chief Murray of the Baltimore, Police Chief Murphy Paul of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, talked about the Attorney General Greenwald of New Jersey, and Mayor Daniela.
What is it?
Levine Cava.
Look for yourself.
Of Miami-Dade.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter.
Talked about their efforts to lift up those kinds of community programs
by transmitting the effervescence of the Indonesian proximity in order to further segregate the crux of my venereal infection.
We discussed the reduced gun violence.
If I may retain my liquids here for one moment, I'd like to continue the redundance of my quote-unquote intestinal tract.
Did any of that make sense to you?
See, because to preclude on the issue of world domination would only circumvent, circumcise.
Finish the job on child care, education, the caring economy.
The revelation that it reflects the aphrodisiac symptoms which now perpetrates the Jericho's activation.
Clean energy tax cuts.
The ambiguity that I feel.
Clean energy and tax cuts.
Never justifies itself. There's always the pungent odor of life's constipation.
The caring economy. The caring economy.
That surreptitiously conflicts with the detrimental instability hitherto for 6-8. Who do we appreciate?
I want to thank Secretary.
The unification of Congress. Condoms.
And, Mr. Secretary, thank you.
Demystifying the squalor of profanity regurgitating over and over again.
You're the best, ma'am.
Here, let me digress my bowels for a minute.
Pride is back at the White House, affecting LGBTQ plus.
And further hindering the pyorrhea
Community. Where's Sarah? I'm proud to lead the most pro-LGBTQ equality administration in U.S. history. LGBTQ plus people.
Which has me, you got me, brother, the diarrhea. Okay.
Including LGBTQ plus folks. More comprehensive gender-affirming care at for our nation's transgender veterans.
Moving toward the angina or vagina, depending on how much time you got.
Man, you are Metamucil.
Who many of you know as an LGBT plus special envoy.
Undouche me.
When I was vice president, I was proud, although it somewhat surprised some people in the administration at the moment.
I can find my own damnation in tardy completion.
And by the way, I did tell the president that I would not go out and proselytize, but if I was asked, I would not remain quiet. Hundreds of
You guys just don't understand.
LGBTQ bills. Many of them target transgender children. Transgender kids are some of the bravest people in the world.
And what he's trying to say is, as long as the courtyard is available, then the car keys are going to be next to the chair. But when you have tomatoes that are not ripe when the lights are off, then nobody's going to know what happens when a basketball goal is not standing upright. But when you have a tree that's leaning over the fence, then it's only going to be like a parked car anyway. So just make sure that, when the door's closed, that the windows are always on fire, because it's not going to happen unless the turnkey to the turtle is on the back of its shell on a Tuesday.
In our conversation today, we talked about our strategy to supercharge what works while we continue to push the Congress to act on sensible gun violence legislation. First, we discussed cracking down, as you heard from the Attorney General, on rogue gun dealers.
I got them $1.9 trillion relief so far. Hey, I told little mama, let me whisper in here. $1.9 trillion relief so far. They're going to be getting checks in the mail that are consequential this week, whether your vote counted after it's been cast. It is the
48 hours ago, it didn't look good.
better than most of you know it. I bet my whole life that's what I've done. I wrote the bill. Hey, I told little mama, let me whisper in here. $1.9 trillion relief so far. I hate to tell you this, but this bloke happens to be the president, and he's got 3 years left to go. On the environment.
Can you tell me when? Everything now. Guess what? Employers can't find workers.
Pay them more. This isn't employees.
And so let me be clear. Okay, you guys got to make sure
Really?
the COVID crisis. Where have you been, Biden? You've been spending too much in China or something. Always worried when I come back to North Carolina and Michael's with me that the governor's going to take him back. There's a reason why it's been harder to get African Americans initially to get vaccinated, because they used to being experimented on. The Tuskegee Airmen and others. The site of the deadliest attack affecting the LGBTQ plus community. More comprehensive gender-affirming care for our nation's transgender veterans. To commit to work aggressively to root out discrimination against LGBTQ plus people. And we have today the first openly transgender person ever confirmed with the U.S. Senate, including LGBTQ plus folks. We know more than half of transgender youth, who many of you know as an LGBTQ plus special envoy on the basis of gender identity to protect trans people. So much talent can be unleashed by embracing the LGBT plus community. To join that effort, I say to the people watching this, because these people have already joined the effort, to join that effort, please visit wecandothis.hhs.gov. I've been president about 150 days. I think we've done fairly well so far.
And together, we're just getting started.